All right, we're going to, and we went along with Jeff Carpenter, and Maria Kelso is on the line right now. Maria, good morning. Thanks for coming on the radio.
Well, good morning. How are you?
I want to, as they make me, I have to do full disclosure, and that I have been hired by your opponent, Brian Miller, to do commercials, radio, and television. So get that out of the way. I hope we can move, as we've had a good interview in the past. I hope we can do the same here this morning.
Certainly.
So tell me, we're getting close. The primary, of course, is Tuesday. This is the toughest district in the state. I don't know of another district in the assembly that has the dynamics that this one has, starting in New Hartford and working all the way down to Orange County. I'm assuming that means you've done a lot of traveling.
I've done an awful lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is the most diverse assembly district ever planned out. But you know what? Working for the New York State Assembly for the past 2 years, I know this district well. Even while campaigning right now, I've traveled it extensively. You know, that's not a problem for me. I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting with the voters, meeting with everybody on the campaign trail, listening to everybody's diversity, listening to what everybody has to say. Not to tell you, there's a lot to be said out there.
So how do you, and it is difficult, I mean, and you've worked in this 101st District, so you know it well when working with Assemblywoman Tenney. How do you handle the needs, which are somewhat different up here than the needs of the people down maybe in, let's say, Orange County?
You know, it is a very diversified area, Assembly District, and this is where you have a good staff. Good staff will help you navigate this. They will obviously listen to people's concerns, and then we address them. I did that as a legislative aide. I was in Albany from January to June, and then after that, I worked out of the New Hartford office, and I worked constituent inquiries. And that was a big load continuously, and got resolution as well.
Yeah. What do you stand for, Maria Kelso? What are the key issues for you as you're going into this 101st?
I advocate for our seniors. I advocate for, obviously, our veterans. I mean, the veterans have been forgotten about for too long. Finally, Governor Cuomo signed that bill that was on the table for, 2 years that he kept vetoing. And then I advocate for people with developmental disabilities. The heroin and opioid epidemic is out of control. And these are just some of the stances. And, of course, I have a small farm of my own. I advocate for farmers. I'm a member of Farm Bureau. And the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is huge for me. And I'm honored to receive the endorsement from the United Wine Workers of America, Local 717, Remington Arms Employees Union. I just got that endorsement, which I'm very, very proud of that. I'm a gun owner myself. I'm a concealed weapons permit holder. I'm licensed to carry in 39 states. I'm a lifetime member of NRA. I'm a member of SCOPE, and I'm a member of New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. This is very near and dear to me because I do hunt. My whole family hunts. You know, these are infringements that we cannot have this.
How do you? How do we? Speaking of the Second Amendment and Remington, how do we increase the number of jobs there at the alien plant, and how do we certainly stay? A lot of people here worried, and I know you've witnessed it. Worried about the stability of Remington, at least in Ilion, as they're on a big anniversary this year.
Yes, 200 years.
Yeah.
And this is where you work with your other legislators, like Jim Seward. Jim Seward's a very good friend of mine. Because I am the Delaware County Republican chairwoman, I've worked with Jim quite often. And with Jim and myself together, we'd be a force to be reckoned with. And we'll always push back on any other regulation. We'll always support Remington Arms, most definitely.
Yeah. Interestingly, and this is a complete aside, but there was the story of the two Utica twins that one ended up getting into, one passed away in an accident, and then the other one was in a DWI issue. There's a charge, and that, I believe, was in Delaware County. Did you follow that story at all? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but...
To tell you the truth, I'm going to be honest with you. You've
been stomping.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in a marathon. I am in a marathon, and I've not really followed a lot of this.
How about the fact that you're really in a tough position, and I think you know this and you've experienced it. How will you deal with the fact that you're in an assembly that is dominated completely by Democrats?
I have to say that working at the New York State Assembly, now just remember, I was a legislative aide. I was not the elected member. I forged a lot of relationships with the other assembly members on both sides, both Democratic and Republican, as well as their staff. And you know as well as I know that the staff is the backbone of what goes on up there.
Sure. And I want to ask you one final question, Maria, and this one is a toughie, and it is because you were working with Assemblywoman Tenney. You know that in many cases she's been criticized for no votes on advancement, and certainly in our area here in nanotechnology, because she voted against that in the budget because of other things that she just could not live with that were in the budget. So, what kind of a legislator will you be when that comes up, and you realize that it seems that money towards the hospital, the money towards nanotechnology, means an awful lot to this area, which is a pretty important part of your district. What kind of assemblywoman will you be?
I think first and foremost, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to stand up for the taxpayers. I'll be their strong voice. And when you get a bill and you get a project, you've got to scrutinize that bill. You've got to make sure that the cost doesn't outweigh the benefit. There's a lot entailed when a bill is brought to the table, or if it's something being introduced. If you don't read through that bill entirely, you could see that there's a lot of take back that would be detrimental. It may not happen this year.
Yeah.
It may happen in a couple of years. So I would be totally transparent. Let them know what I'm thinking, why I'm deciding this, because I have, first and foremost, the taxpayers in the forefront.
Let me ask you one follow-up on that. You, being the fact that you did work on her team, specifically that bill, that portion of the bill that involved nanotechnology and involved some other things in there that Claudia Tenney could not vote for. I ask you, what would you have? How would you have voted there? Would you have voted against that portion of the budget?
I think I said this to you once before. I would have had to read through that bill in its entirety,
okay.
And then I would have gotten together with the other officials. I would have had to have gotten together with them and discussed it.
Got it. All right, that makes sense. I think it's a fair answer, and I do think we asked that question before, but
you did, and I gave you the same answer.
You did. I love consistency, and
yes.
And at the end of the day, though, Maria, I do believe that is a question it's a very important question for people in this district, and I certainly respect your answers. So,
well, I appreciate it.
All right, Tuesday is it. Anything you want to end with?
I would like to thank everybody out there that I've come in contact with, the voters, the warmth on the campaign trail, the way they've welcomed me. We've had lots of dialogue, lots of conversation. We've sat on their front porches. We've been in their houses. I've been in barns. I've been in jails. I've been to sheriff's office. I've been all over. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being so gracious with your time with me. So I ask for your vote on Tuesday, September 13th. Thank you so much.
All right, Maria Kelso, and primary noon till 9 p.m. on Tuesday. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.